This message comes from Michelin. More than a tire company, Michelin is an innovation company, now taking on space, developing an airless wheel for space exploration. Motion for life. More at michelinman.com/y-Michelin/innovation.
From NPR and WBEZ Chicago, this is Wait, Don't Tell Me, the NPR News Quiz. Hey, Starbucks, put down that PSL and pick up a PS Bill. I'm Bill Curtis. And here is your host at the Studebaker Theater of the Fine Arts Building in Chicago, Illinois, Peter Sagal.
Thank you, Bill. Thanks, everybody. Now, last week, as I hope you heard, we did our show in Honolulu, Hawaii, and of course our plan was to come right back here immediately to do another show for you this week. But we were worried. What if something were to happen and we couldn't get back in time?
You should have listened to me and booked tickets on that tramp steamer. No better way to see the world than from the inside of a cargo hold.
So just in case we got delayed in Hawaii somehow, we prepared this review of some of our best moments from earlier this year. For example, in June, we were joined live on stage by NASCAR legend Jeff Gordon. And it turns out he started winning races when he was just 5 years old.
Yeah, I guess I just think all professional race car drivers started racing when they were 5 or 6 years old. I mean, that was pretty common for me. I grew up in California, and the kids I was racing with were basically the same age.
How does a 5-year-old end up in a race car? Because my kids want one, but I say no.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I had my stepfather is actually the one that introduced me to it. He was a machinist and worked on cars, and I think some friends of his would come to him to say, "Hey, fix my car, or can you make this piece?" I'm guessing at that point, maybe they couldn't pay him. And so they said, "Oh, I've got this old race car that my son used to drive over here in the garage. How about I give you that?" It's called a quarter midget. So it's similar to a go-kart, but the engine's in the back, has a roll cage, seat belts, maybe somewhat safer than a go-kart. And race on small oval tracks. And so, yeah, he came home with that and said, "Hey, look what's outside." And of course, I was just eager to get in and go.
Did everybody know, did you know that this was something you were going to be very good at?
No idea. No, I had no clue. I'd actually, my first racing experience was previous to that. I raced BMX bikes when I was like 4.5 years old.
4.5.
Yeah.
Right. What does a 4.5-year-old get if they win a race? They get to skip their nap? What is the prize?
Well, I didn't win a race, so I wouldn't know, because I realized then that I did not have the physicality to pedal a bicycle as fast as others. And when I got in the car, I'm like, I don't need that. I've got an engine. Back. So it did come, pretty quick, and I realized, gained confidence, and said, "Oh, I can do this."
Right. This is actually another thing I'm very curious about. I know, for example, that on the track, you drivers are in radio contact at all times with your pit. What are you talking about? It's like, "Oh, did you see what the president just tweeted?"
I will say there were a few times in my career where I was fortunate enough to have a pretty big lead.
Just a few times.
And your mind starts to wander, and I think there were a few times I know some fans or something happening up in the grandstands, and I radioed to the team and said, "Hey, did you see that? Was that or is that?" They're like, "Seriously, Jeff, you're noticing things up in the grandstand?
Really?
We're trying to win this race. Get back to the race."
You talk about, I'm going to win, but what are we going to have for dinner later? I'm getting a little peckish out here. I noticed.
Well, the other thing you have to remember is that these radios are being broadcast to everyone. So,
really?
So you have to be careful of the things that you say. I didn't always do that well, but you try.
Really? So let's say, and I'm sure this happened to you more than a couple times, let's say things go poorly, you spin out, maybe something catches fire. You have to be careful to say, "Oh, goodness, I am truly and well fudged."
Yeah. That as well as if somebody else caused it.
Oh, yes.
Then the choice things that you are thinking about saying.
Really, I mean, I find that, that is...
Here's the part you guys are going to love.
Okay.
Because you guys are comedians and I'm not. But in order for that to be broadcast, there's a button on the steering wheel. So in order for the driver to talk back to the team, you have to push the button. And these things are being broadcast, so you don't have to push the button. You could just say them. And in my case, 100% of the time, I wanted to make sure I pushed the button so everybody really could hear it.
Now, you've retired, and as I said, one of the many things you do in addition to your businesses and philanthropy is you co-own some racing teams, right?
Yes.
And how hard is it for you to, just look at the driver or watch them and just think, just let me do it?
I mean, I realize things have evolved, technology's evolved, the cars drive different today. But what does happen to me, and I think of my wife every time, because when I was racing, I would get out of the car that day, let's say, we didn't win, and she would go, I don't understand why you didn't just pass that car.
This is your wife.
Yeah, she's like, couldn't you just push the pedal down further and just go by? I'm like, honey, I it's already all the way there. That was as fast as I could go. So I then, while I'm watching the drivers, I'm going, just pass. Why can't you just pass them?
Right. And I just in credit to your wife, just comparing her to myself, at least she knew you had a pedal. That was news to me. I enjoyed that. Really, you're like, come on, just do it. Just do it. I know everybody asks you guys, after you've, all the racers, current and retired, if you speed when you're driving your car. I'm not going to ask you that. I know.
You're not?
No, I'm not going to ask you that. Well, unless you want to tell me. Do you? I just understood it was like the big cliche that all the race drivers get.
Well, I mean, I'm not saying that it's that, I just get in the car and say, how fast can I go? But, I mean, I'm still human.
Yeah, sure.
Sometimes you got to go.
What I really
over
wanted
the
to
speed
know
limit.
is if you're just driving, just doing an errand, maybe doing something with your kids, driving out of the grocery store, if you ever said, if you're just sitting there and going, vroom, vroom.
I have one more question, which is that I learned how to drive on a stick shift.
Nice.
Does that improve your opinion of me?
Yes. 100%.
There you are.
I have an 18-year-old, soon-to-be 18-year-old daughter and a 14-year-old son, and my goal this summer is to get them to learn.
Wait a minute.
My son is like going through driver's ed and stuff, so maybe. But my
here,
daughter, I want her to learn how to drive.
Here's the question. Are you, Jeff Gordon, one of the greatest race car drivers who have ever lived, going to teach your children to drive?
I mean, yes. Reluctantly, because it's probably one of the scariest things I've ever done.
Yeah.
Is sit in the passenger seat.
Yeah.
While somebody has zero experience driving is driving the vehicle, and I kind of like to be in control of the vehicle. So that's probably the most terrified I've ever been is when my daughter was learning how to drive.
I'm just imagining you turning to your daughter, she's 16, right, whatever she is, you're like, why don't you just pass him?
I just want her to use the brakes when somebody's brake lights come on. I'll be happy with just
That's okay. Start there. Well, Jeff Gordon, it is such a pleasure to talk to you. We've asked you here to play a game we're calling
Leave the Driving to Us.
As we have discussed, you're an accomplished driver, so we thought we'd ask you 3 questions about passengers. Answer 2 out of 3 correctly, you'll win our prize for one of our listeners, the voice of anyone they might choose for their voicemail. Bill, who is NASCAR legend Jeff Gordon playing for?
Kelsey Woods of Wendell, North Carolina.
All right.
Oh, North Carolina. North Carolina. So got to take care of my Carolinians.
Exactly. Here's your first question. In 2017, a taxi driver in the UK was pulled over for speeding, and he laid the blame on his passengers, telling the police what? A, they kept farting, and it was so bad he had to get the ride over as quickly as possible. B, one of them said, follow that car. And since there wasn't any car in sight, he sped up to find one. Or C, one said, the acid we just took will kick in 10 minutes, and whether it happens back here or at our home is up to you.
Oh, my gosh. My son is going to be so proud of me for picking A.
Your son should be proud because you're right, yes.
Nice.
Yeah, he said I had to get out of the car. They were farting so badly. There were 3 of them, so let's have some sympathy for him. All right, very good. People love to ride on roller coasters, of course, as passengers, including one in Arakawa, Japan. And this roller coaster is famous for being what? A nearly surefire way to induce labor, leading to long lines of pregnant women. B, it is the slowest roller coaster in the entire country, so slow some riders didn't realize once when it had derailed and stopped cold. Or C, it's the world's only one-way roller coaster, meaning every ride ends in a long walk back to the start.
Oh, Lord. Well, I don't do anything slow, so I'm not going with B. I'm going to go with the one-way.
No, it was actually B, the slow one. It is the slowest roller coaster in Japan. It is so, it's called the family coaster.
Remind me to never go to an amusement park next time I'm there.
All right, this is your last question. If you get this,
All
you
right.
win. In 2016, on a Southwest Airlines flight from Oakland to Kansas City, and full of Oakland Raiders fans, the pilot actually took to the PA at the end of the flight to congratulate the passengers. For what? A, they had, he felt, the most creative heckles of the safety announcement he had ever heard. B, for the first time in his experience, they had drank literally all of the alcohol on board of the plane. Or C, every passenger had boarded the plane, stowed their bags, and got their seatbelt buckled in 8 minutes flat.
Oh, gosh. Oh, my goodness. It's a crowd participation.
It really is. B, yes, it was, of course, B. They were Oakland Raiders fans.
Thank you.
They drank all of it during 1 3-hour flight. Bill, how did Jeff Gordon do?
2 out of 3. Checkered flag flies everywhere.
There you go.
Nice.
Jeff Gordon is a NASCAR legend and the vice chairman of Hendrick Motorsports. Jeff Gordon, thank you so much for being with us on Ladies and Gentlemen. Jeff Gordon, everybody. A living legend. When we come back, we got Anna Kendrick explaining to Paula Poundstone why she looks so familiar, and one more reason to never, ever have children. That's when we come back with more Wait, Wait, Don't Tell Me from NPR. Support for this podcast and the following message come from Dignity Memorial. When you think about the people you love, it's not the big things you miss the most, it's the details. What memories will your loved ones cherish when you're gone? At Dignity Memorial, the details aren't just little things, they're everything. They help families create meaningful celebrations of life with professionalism and compassion. To find a provider near you, visit dignitymemorial.com.
This message comes from Schwab. At Schwab, how you invest is your choice, not theirs. That's why when it comes to managing your wealth, Schwab gives you more choices. You can invest and trade on your own. Plus, get advice and more comprehensive wealth solutions to help meet your unique needs. With award-winning service, low costs, and transparent advice, you can manage your wealth your way at Schwab. Visit schwab.com to learn more.
This message comes from the Council for Interior Design Qualification. Interior designer and CIDQ president Siavash Madani explains why good design is so much more than looks.
Good design is never just about aesthetics. It's about intention, safety, and impact. Being NCIDQ certified means you've qualified to protect the health, safety, and welfare of the public.
Learn more at cidq.org/NPR.
From NPR and WBEZ Chicago, this is Wait, Wait, Don't Tell Me, the NPR News Quiz. I'm Bill Curtis, and here is your host at the Studebaker Theater in downtown Chicago, Peter Sagal.
Thank you, Bill. Thank you, everybody. So, if you're listening to this, it means that despite our best efforts, we are still somehow stuck in Hawaii. Honestly, I am so sorry. We intended to get back to Chicago as soon as our show in Honolulu was done.
I even wore my parka to the theater so I wouldn't have to waste time changing clothes once we got back.
So as we negotiate our escape from our island prison, we're going to keep bringing you some highlights from the past year. For example, here's a bluff game we played back in March with Roy Blunt, Faith Saley, and Shantira Jackson.
Hi, this is Dustin Durant from Omaha, Nebraska.
Hey, okay, so what do you do there in Omaha?
Well, my wife and I keep poison dart frogs. We have over 30 different frogs.
That's new. You keep poison dart frogs. Do they come when you call them?
They jump at you when you spray water at them, so you got to be careful when you open it up.
You know what? Me too.
Yeah. We've all been there. All right, Dustin, well, welcome to the show. You are going to play our game in which you have to tell truth from fiction. Bill, what is Dustin's topic?
Don't bring your kid to work.
You may remember the day, a decade or more ago, when NPR had a Take Your Kid to Work day and somebody's kid pushed a button and took NPR off the air for more than a minute. This week, somebody's kid did something even more interesting while at their parents' place of work. Our panelists are going to tell you about it. Pick the one who's telling the truth, and you will win our prize, the waiter of your choice for your voicemail. You ready to play?
Yeah.
All right, well, let's start then with a story from Faith Saley.
Last week, Sharon McGann had to take her 12-year-old son Oscar with her to her admin job at Church of the Blessed Sacrament in Columbus, Ohio. Sharon told Oscar to keep quiet and stay out of trouble. He didn't. He ensconced himself in a confessional. When penitent parishioner Lorna McMahon came into the booth and said through the screen, "Bless me, Father, for I have sinned," Oscar froze. Then he lowered his voice and replied, "Tell me all the bad stuff." My child. Oscar heard confessions for an hour until he farted and laughed so hard that his mom found him. But before she did, young fake Father Oscar doled out some punishing penances, like telling one parishioner to listen to Kids Bop while praying the rosary a Googleplex number of times.
A 12-year-old gets taken to church by his parent and ends up taking confessions and learning a little about the world. Your next story of a kid catastrophe comes from Roy Blunt Jr.
If you're a German soccer player, we learned this week, it's all very well to bring your little boy to one of your games as long as you tell him this up front. Don't bite the referee in the balls. A match between two lower-level teams was about to begin. Suddenly, it was called off because the only referee was in too much pain. Let the referee tell it. A small child was doing warm-up exercises alongside the players. He came closer and closer to me. Suddenly, to my complete surprise, he gave me a sharp bite in my left testicle. So give the kid a break. Maybe the thing was hanging loose. Anyway, as any parent knows, you can never think of everything you need to tell a child not to do.
A German soccer ref gets surprised by a player's son on the pitch. Your last story of a kiddo uh-oh comes from Shantira Jackson.
The Metropolitan Museum of Art in New York City, or as his friends like to call him, the Met, has a long history of displaying beautiful art pieces and welcoming children of all ages. One day, a docent brought his daughter to work only to immediately lose her. The girl had been to the museum hundreds of times, and she decided it was time to put her own spin on the exhibits. One by one, she went around replacing the placards that give details about the art in the rooms with her own handwritten, honest reviews. The Egyptian room, originally known as the Temple of Dender, was replaced with a placard that said, "This stuff in here is pretty cool, but don't forget about what happened in the mummy. Be chill in here." The room with the antique furniture placard changed from Renaissance Revival room to "Skip this room. You can't even sit on any of the couches." Throughout the day, docents were finding and removing the placards display after display. When asked why she did it, the girl said that at school they were learning how the best art is honest art. And also, I just lied and said I had permission to do this.
So, one of these stories really happened. Was it from Faith Saley, a 12-year-old who ended up taking confessions at a Catholic church? From Roy Blunt Jr., a kid at a German soccer pitch, well, not using his hands on the ball. Or from Shantira Jackson, a docent's daughter at the Metropolitan Museum, changing the placards on the art to more honest ones. Which of these is the real story of a kid at his parents' workplace?
I'm going to have to go with the soccer balls incident because truth is stranger than fiction, and if you're going to make it up, I don't think they go that far.
All right, you've chosen Roy's story of the soccer player's son who attacked the soccer referee. Well, we spoke to someone who had an opinion on this real story.
I just felt so bad for the referee and for everyone involved.
Awesome.
That was Joey Kenward. He's a soccer referee and broadcaster in Vancouver, Canada, talking with, I think, some apprehension about the boy who attacked the referee with his teeth in Germany. Congratulations, you got it right. You earned a point for Roy. You have won our prize, the voice of any one you might choose from our show in your voicemail. Congratulations and well done.
Thank you. It's a pleasure being on the show.
Best to your frogs.
Thank you. Bye.
In June, we went to Portland, Maine, to interview one of that city's native daughters, actor and singer Anna Kendrick, on the stage of the historic Merrill Auditorium. Peter asked her if she had been there before.
This is not your first time here on the stage of the Merrill Auditorium.
No. And I'll say that everybody at the Wait, Don't Tell Me team has been so helpful and thoughtful. And they sent me a map and a picture of the stage door. And they told me, but don't worry, a man named Colin will escort you there.
Right.
And I said... I have walked all the way down Congress Street wearing lion face paint to be in a dance recital here. I have come here to stand behind Judy Collins for one song in the choir during a Christmas special that she did, wearing what can only be described as a Handmaid's Tale-esque robe. And I have come to this stage door to wait in that balcony for 45 minutes in a white button-down and black pants just to sing at the Nutcracker. So,
oh my God, that's where I know you from!
That
was her.
That's right.
Oh, this is it's so exciting to see you.
So not to put too fine a pint on it, but you were a theater kid.
Oh, can I just say that earlier, before we were recording, Paula mentioned that we met and that Paula did know my full name, and that even though I started listing all the movies I was in, she still didn't know me. And I just wanted to say that I was only listing the movies at her specific request.
Oh yeah, no.
I wasn't just. She wasn't just like, oh, you were Anna Kendrick, and I didn't just start going Up in the Air, End of Watch, The Accountant, Pitch Perfect. Ever heard of them? That didn't happen.
No.
Okay.
It was, I put Anna in the uncomfortable position. I said, well, where would I know you from?
That's a terrible thing to do, Paula.
It kind of was. I apologize. But, and then every movie she mentioned, I'm like, no, not that one.
I only mentioned, Paula, I would like to remind you, I only mentioned one. And then I said, it doesn't really matter.
No, and then you took out your phone and you were scrolling.
Lies.
And then Paula started naming movies she liked and going, were you in that one?
Yeah. Anyways, I apologize for, making you feel awkward.
No. I love you, and I love that we have a rivalry already.
That's true. When you were last here, it was a few years ago, and we talked about Pitch Perfect. And one of the things that I am aware of is that because of those movies, a lot of kids went to college and joined a cappella groups.
Yeah, I'm so sorry.
Well, I was going to ask, how do you feel about that legacy?
I feel okay about it. I'm into people's hyper-specific interests and passions, and it doesn't matter how dorky it is. I think if you're good at it and you care about it, that's amazing. I will say that over the course, we made 3 movies, and so I met a decent amount of a cappella people in the course of that time, and I was very surprised how many of them said, yeah, but the original versions of the song are always better.
Right.
What are we doing? You know, like, if we're listening to a song, maybe the thing that makes the sound of a drum should be the drum. Yeah, it's a self-deprecating community, and that's also admirable, I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So those jokes are being made by the a cappella people?
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, I hope, my God. I hope it wasn't just 3 people and the rest of the a cappella community are like, well, you're dead to us now.
One of the things you've done since the last time we talked to you, Anna, is you directed your first film.
Yes.
And I heard that you did that, and I was like, oh, I'm sure it's like the incredibly charming, sophisticated romantic comedy that I would expect from someone like yourself. It is a movie called Woman of the Hour, and it is a real-life story about a woman who goes on, played by herself, who goes on the dating game back in the 70s when that was a thing, and gets matched with a serial killer.
Yes, true story.
True story.
It's a true story?
Yeah, girl. Yes, Paula, you should see the film.
Yeah.
She's going to watch the movie and go, where do I know her from?
Yes, Paula's a very sophisticated woman of taste, and that's why she doesn't know any of my films.
I'm just going to point out, given your vast success and fame, it's annoying that you're funnier than we are, and I'd like you to stop. Well, Anna Kendrick, it is so much fun to talk to you here in your hometown. And this time, we have invited you here to play a game we're calling
Pitch Perfect. Meet Female Dog Perfect.
So, as we have gone over, you were in the Pitch Perfect movies.
I love a joke that you have to go, what?
Yeah.
Oh.
So, as we were saying, you were in the Pitch Perfect movies, so we thought that we'd ask you about dog shows. Answer 3 questions about dog shows, and you'll win our prize for one of our listeners, the voice of anyone they choose for their voicemail. Bill, who is Anna Kendrick playing for?
Ollie Long of Biddeford, Maine.
All right, our neighbor, Biddeford.
Come on, Biddeford.
Here's your first question. Show dogs are registered under very elaborate names that reflect their parentage. What was the name of the winner of the 2014 Savannah Dog Show? A, Snitches Get Stitches by Daylight. B, Starfire's Spank Me Hard, Call Me Crazy. Or C, President Polk's Burrito of Joyful Abundance.
Oh, this makes me so the fact that it's any one of them makes me really delighted. But I guess I'll say A?
You're going to say A, Snitches Get Stitches by Daylight? No, I'm afraid it was Starfire's Spank Me Hard, Call Me Crazy.
That's a dog's name?
That is the one that I was like, well, that's definitely not
it. But yes, it was. A lovely Pomeranian, by the way, we are told. All right, you have 2 more chances, not a problem. At the 2021 Westminster Dog Show, Ripple, the Boston Terrier, was well on the way to winning the agility competition, where they're running with the obstacle course. When what happened? A, her trainer tripped over his own feet and fell right on her. B, she was distracted by a spectator who pulled out a Slim Jim and left the course. Or C, she suddenly stopped, reconsidering what she was doing with her brief life, and just walked away.
Well,
I really hope it's C, so I'm going to say C.
Your hope, as a sort of dramatic scene, a moment,
Yes.
is the dog's running through. Let's imagine how it counts. Little dogs, zip, zip, zip. You've seen them go.
All right, you disagree. I get it. What should I say? Wonderful. Then A.
They're right. A.
Oh, wow. Wait, have you all seen this?
No, I think this would be, by the way, a great final scene.
That's the one I really didn't want it to be.
And yet,
was the dog okay? Only answer if the answer is yes.
I am proud to tell you that if you see the video, and you can, the trainer trips and falls onto her, but she is perfectly fine. And in a quite lovely moment before continuing her course, she stops and checks on him to make sure he's fine.
Oh.
That's very sweet. All right, Anna, now you've got one more chance. If you get it right, you win it all. A dog show that was staged at a high school in Spain in 2019 had a surprise ending. When what happened? A, the winner was revealed to be a small rat with excellent makeup. B, one of the dogs busted 3 students for drug possession. C, the students tried to feed the dogs food from their own cafeteria, and they all refused.
Well, what? I'm hearing E. So, clearly enunciation lessons for all of you.
Yes.
I do want to say C. I'll stick with C.
You're going to stick with C.
Oh my God, the way you're looking at me. Fine, B.
Yes, it's B. It is B. It was a.
Oh my gosh!
It was a demonstration of police dogs, and the dogs did their job.
Wow.
Bill, ultimately, how did Anna Kendrick do in our quiz?
2 out of 3. You won.
She wins again. Anna Kendrick is an Oscar, Tony, and Emmy-nominated actor and a proud native of Portland, Maine. She was named a director to watch by Variety for her debut, Woman of the Hour, which you can stream now on Netflix. Anna Kendrick, what an absolute joy to have you here. Give it up for your hometown girl, Portland. Coming up, either we burst in the doors of the theater freshly tan and out of breath, just back from Hawaii, or we'll bring you some more never-before-heard goodies from our show. Plus, Iowa basketball legend Jensen. Oh, the suspense. That's when we return with more Wait, Wait, Don't Tell Me from NPR. Support for this podcast and the following message come from Mint Mobile. At Mint Mobile, their favorite word is no. No contracts, no monthly bills, no hidden fees. Plans start at $15 a month. Make the switch at mintmobile.com/wait. That's mintmobile.com/wait. Upfront payment of $45 required, equivalent to $15 a month. Limited time new customer offer for first 3 months only. Speeds may slow above 35 gigabytes on unlimited plan. Taxes and fees extra. See Mint Mobile for details. Support for this podcast and the following message come from Dignity Memorial. For many families, remembering loved ones means honoring the details that made them unique. Dignity Memorial is dedicated to professionalism and compassion in every detail of a life celebration. Find a provider near you at dignitymemorial.com.
This message comes from EasyCater, committed to helping organizations order and manage food for all their business needs. With online ordering from favorite restaurants, employee meal programs, and tools to see and control food spend at easycater.com.
From NPR and WBEZ Chicago, this is Wait, Wait, Don't Tell Me, the NPR News Quiz. I'm Bill Curtis, and here is your host at the Studebaker Theater in the Fine Arts Building in downtown Chicago, Illinois, Peter Sagal.
Thank you, Bill. Thanks, everybody. Thank you so much. Well, I guess at this point, I just have to admit it. We weren't able to make it back from Hawaii in time to do a new show for you this week, but I want you to know, no matter where we are right now and how delicious the Mai Tai we're drinking is, we truly wish we were here with you.
I'm so sad about it, I just ordered a second Mai Tai.
So, to make up for it, here's some delightful fun we had with our panelists in the last year. Moz, Maine, recently issued new license plates with an image of a pine tree, but a lot of people who have received it say it actually looks like a what?
Marijuana?
No.
Give me a hint.
I'll give you a hint. The old one, the one it replaced, had a bird. This one is flipping a bird.
Oh, it looks like the middle finger.
It does. So they say. The new Maine license plates feature a majestic pine tree, and a lot of people look at the top of the pine tree and they say, oh, it looks like it's giving you the finger. Now, the artist who drew that for the state says it's ridiculous. That's just a figment of your imagination. And if you need to see a real middle finger to compare it to, just drive into Maine with a Massachusetts license plate. Shane, authorities are reporting a huge increase in the volume and the sophistication of people who are smuggling contraband into where?
Into where?
Yeah.
Into the Senate floor.
No.
Smuggling contraband into the United States?
No.
Smuggling contraband into public high schools?
No.
huge uptick. Can I have a hint?
Sure. I mean, contraband smuggled in includes candy, snacks, and extra string for crafting friendship bracelets.
Oh, to summer camps?
Yes, to summer camps.
How dare they?
Most camps have strict bans on outside candy and snacks, but that does not stop parents of campers from trying. This summer, they have been caught, for example, hollowing out books and loading them up with candy. One parent filled a tampon box with chocolate bars, resealed it, looked like it had never been opened. They'll do anything. One mom says, well, you know, it's just not parents visiting day if I'm not swallowing balloons filled with Skittles first.
I think that a mom putting candy in a tampon box should be allowed. That's medicine.
One camper... Actually, the camp counselors are like, these guys are impressive. One person bought a Monopoly game, opened it up, took out all the parts in the game, and just packed it with candy, closed it, and sealed it with a heater on cellophane to make it look like it was still store-bought. Another person stuffed a soccer ball with candy. A third packed 2 whole sleeves of Oreos into a kilo of heroin.
Yeah.
It's time for a new game we're calling
Medical Bills. What fun.
Every week we see a headline that says somebody racked up a huge medical bill after being treated for something. We're going to ask you about a few bills people have received. You guess what they were treated for, and then if you get yours right, you get a point, and we're going to go quick.
Let's go.
Okay, Roy, from this week, finish this headline from Yahoo News. Woman faces more than $20,000 in medical bills after what?
Depression.
After a bat flew into her mouth.
Oh, right. That's what I was going to say.
She's okay. Here's the takeaway from the story. I know what bats taste like now. It's an earthy, sweet kind of flavor.
But you know, the flip side is, now she's going to start fighting crime. And that is where, her life is never going to be the same again, my friend.
All right, Nagin from CBS News in 2017. South Dakota man accumulated $1,000 in medical bills when he became ill after drinking what?
Oh, elephant piss.
A can of Coca-Cola that had a dead mouse in it. Here's the key takeaway. This is absolutely true. Coca-Cola refused to pay the man's bills because they argued in the 6 weeks between bottling and when he drank it, the Coca-Cola would have definitely dissolved that mouse. All right, Brian, from CBS News, a San Diego hiker received a $153,000 medical bill after he what?
After he was bitten by a tarantula.
Oof. So close.
Come on, man.
After what?
Snake bite.
I'm going to give it to you. After he attempted to take a, quote, rattlesnake selfie. For you, Roy, from Mass Live in 2024, Massachusetts woman gets hospital bill for $56,000 after she what?
She tried to buy health insurance after she got sick.
She felt sorry for a raccoon and tried to help it cross the street.
Oh my God.
And here's the takeaway. The raccoon did not want her help. Thanks for playing our medical bill game.
This message comes from Vital Farms, who works with small American farms to bring you pasture-raised eggs. Farmer Tanner Pace shares why he believes it's important to care for his land and how he hopes to pass the opportunity to farm onto his sons.
We're paving the way for a future. We only have one earth, and we have to make it count. Like my boys, I want to see them taking care of the land for them to be able to farm and then generations to come. I really enjoy seeing, especially my whole family up there working with me, and to be able to instill the things that my father, mother, and then grandparents instilled in me that I can instill in the boys. That's just the most rewarding thing that there could ever be. Vital Farms, they're motivated for the well-being of the animals, for the well-being of the land, the whole grand scope of things. They care about it all, and that means a lot to me.
To learn more about how Vital Farms farmers care for their hens, visit vitalfarms.com.
Finally, in July, we went to Des Moines, Iowa, where we got to talk to Jan Jensen, the coach of the legendary University of Iowa women's basketball team.
As it turns out, Jan is not only a basketball champion herself, but a descendant of champions.
Among the many things I learned this week, Coach Jensen, is that Iowa is, in fact, more or less the birthplace of women's basketball. Is that not right?
It really is.
Yeah.
In fact, my grandmother was the MVP of the 1921 state tournament.
Your grandmother?
Absolutely. Yeah, my grandmother.
And didn't your grandmother had a great nickname?
She
right?
did. She was named Lottie because she scored a lot of points.
So an enlightened state, not a very creative one, but that's okay.
You got to take
I'm sorry. I have these images in my head of what the 20s were like, especially for women. Did they have to play in bustles?
They played in bloomers. And they had like a sash.
Right.
I actually have her uniform.
No, really?
I do, yes. And I have the ball of which they played with.
No.
And they weren't dribbling back then. It almost looked like like a football.
Right.
So I didn't really start talking to her about her history until I was getting recruited. And she never shared it until I pried it out of her.
Wait a minute, because I happen to know you were one of the greatest high school basketball players in the nation, right?
Well,
I read that you had like a national record for points scored or something like that, and your grandmother never mentioned during all those years, basketball. Funny thing, I forgot to mention, 1921 national state champion.
No.
Slipped my mind being old and all. No.
She did not. She mentioned it casually, but she didn't wasn't until I truly, really pried the stories out of her. I knew she played. I saw her Hall of Fame trophy. Of
course.
And it was at her home. And my mother used to tell a story that when I was really little, I looked up at that trophy. I said, Mom, I'm going to get a trophy like that someday.
Right.
And my mom said, I bet you will. And I did.
I bet you did.
When we were talking, they did a news special, the Iowa Girls Athletic Union, and it was on Iowa Public Television, which is awesome. So great. And they also did a 6-on-6 special, right? So they were talking about the things. But the cool thing, my grandmother, she critiqued it. She said that it was much too physical and we showed way too much skin.
Oh, really?
Absolutely. She thought it was very risque.
Really? So your grandmother was like, in my day, we played in bloomers and we liked it. We showed no ankle.
That's right.
Let's talk about your coaching career. You spent 23 years as an assistant coach at Iowa before becoming head coach last year. And during that time, you coached the global phenomenon, Caitlin Clark. So what was that like?
It was, I don't think we'll fully unpack it certainly I won't till I slow down, right? Because someone asked me, what was it like to coach Caitlin Clark? And I said, everything you think it was, in a matter of a minute, because she's passionate. She's, fun. She's feisty. She shoots it from the parking lot. She makes a dazzling pass. She challenges you. She's a jokester. And then as you're going through it, building a team, to me, that's the most beautiful thing. And you know this on your show. You're the leading scorer.
Oh, I am definitely the Caitlin Clark of this organization. I'm so glad.
Yes,
I'm so glad.
Send you to the parking lot.
I'm so glad that somebody has finally noticed my central role.
I'm now your favorite guest
really are.
you've ever had.
I think, let's talk more about that. No, anyway, so go on, please.
Well, just the building the team and the culture. And I think that's why a lot of people have enjoyed watching Iowa women's basketball. Way back when we were at Drake, our staff was together at Drake, is what we believe is just really playing with joy, playing hard. And I believe the best thing in life is if you can get a team, I'd like to think if you can get a society to be celebrators of each other. That's the hardest thing.
Right.
You know?
So one of your jobs is to motivate a player who's struggling. That's part of the deal. So let's say as you have identified, the Caitlin Clark of this show. Let's say I'm not doing well. Let's say I'm just not playing to my astonishing potential.
Right.
How would you say to me, like, you know, what would be your learned coach attempt?
Well, for you
approach?
particularly, I'd
For me
probably say,
particularly.
get your head out of your ass. For you.
Really?
But now, these lovely people over here, I would say, you know what, you got it. You can do it. I believe in you. You get over here.
Well, Coach Jensen, we are delighted to have you.
Well, I'm delighted to be here.
Speaking of games, we have invited you here to play a game that this time we're calling
Let's Go Courtin'.
You spend all your time in the basketball court, so we thought we'd ask you about the other kind of courting, finding a spouse. So we're going to ask you 3 questions about courting rituals from around the world.
Oh, gosh.
Get 2 right, you'll win a prize for one of our listeners. Bill, who is Coach Jensen playing for?
Matthew Codis of Des Moines, Iowa.
All right, ready to go? Here's your first question. In the Puritan communities in New England, back in the 1600s, courting couples would have to sit apart in a small room with a family member there to chaperone at all times. So for privacy, these couples used what? A 6-foot-long speaking tube, which one person held to their ear while the other person talked into the other side. B, an elaborate code using only eye blinks and squinting. Or C, wooing leaves, which was a medicinal herb you would put in grandma's tea so she'd fall asleep and you could talk freely.
Oh, gosh. Okay. I'm feeling maybe, are you feeling maybe 1? I'm feeling 1.
Yeah, it was the speaking tube.
Yes.
Yes.
Let's go.
Grandma.
1 for 1.
Grandma would sit there. I'm beginning to get a sense of your style on the courtside. Yeah, they'd sit there and they'd hold the tube and they'd speak.
A little help for my buddies.
Yeah. Okay. All right. That was very good. Here's your second question. Pumpkins had a traditional role in courtship in medieval Ukraine. Okay. What was it? A, what was called love bowling. Women would roll a pumpkin down the largest hill in town, and the first man it knocked over would be her betrothed. B, if a woman turned down a marriage proposal, she would give their suitor a pumpkin as a kind of consolation prize, but everyone who saw him walking home with it would know he just got rejected. Or C, suitors wore pumpkins over their heads to the town dance to ensure that matches were not just about physical appearance.
Oh, golly. Okay.
Sort of a medieval Ukrainian version of love.
What was that again?
They're yelling B.
I like that.
That's correct. How did you know? That's right.
On my back, all of you.
The consolation pumpkin or the pumpkin of shame. This is true, men would only propose at night so they wouldn't be seen carrying the pumpkin home. Here's your last question. In 19th century rural Austria, available women presented men who they liked with a challenge to prove their worth. What was it? A, she would feed a ring to a particular sheep, and the man would have to first guess the sheep and then get the ring back. B, after a town dance, the woman would offer the man she fancied an apple slice that she had held in her armpit during the whole dance to see if he would eat it. Or C, she would write a particular tongue-twister love poem which the man was expected to recite after drinking 4 beers in 1 hour.
I think it's B, apple.
And it is B.
Yes! 3 for 3. Yes.
Wow.
Oh, I've been stressing about this the whole day. I like to win. 3 for 3. Let's go.
Bill, how did Coach Jensen do in our quiz?
What else? A perfect score.
It's all of you. Thank you.
Jan Jensen is the head coach of the Iowa Hawkeyes women's basketball team. Coach Jan Jensen, thank you so much. for being on Wait, Wait, Don't Tell Me. Give it up for Coach Jensen. That's it for our Prisoners of Paradise edition. I can guarantee you we'll be back with a new show next week.
Mahalo, listeners. Mahalo.
Wait, Wait, Don't Tell Me is a production of NPR and WBEZ Chicago in association with Urgent Haircut Productions, Doug Berman, Benevolent Overlord. Philip Goedeke writes our limericks. Our public address announcer is Paul Friedman, and our tour manager is Shayna Donald. BJ Liederman composed our theme. Our program is produced by Jennifer Mills, Miles Dornbos, and Lillian King. Special thanks to Monica Hickey. Peter Gwynn was thrown into a volcano. Our visual host is Emma Choi. Technical directions from Lorna White. Our CFO is Colin Miller. Our production manager is Robert Newhouse. Our senior producer is Ian Chillock. And the executive producer of Wait, Wait, Don't Tell Me is Mike Danforth. Thanks to everybody you heard on this week's show, all of our panelists, our guests, our fill-in hosts and scorekeepers, and of course, Mr. Bill Curtis. Thanks to all of you for listening. I am Peter Sagal. We'll be back next week with the farmer's can of your dreams. This is NPR.
This message comes from Vital Farms, who works with small American farms to bring you pasture-raised eggs. Farmer Tanner Pace shares why he believes it's important to care for his land and how he hopes to pass the opportunity to farm onto his sons.
We're paving the way for a future. We only have one earth, and we have to make it count. Like my boys, I want to see them taking care of the land for them to be able to farm and then generations to come. I really enjoy seeing, especially my whole family up there working with me, and to be able to instill the things that my father, mother, and then grandparents instilled in me that I can instill in the boys. That's just the most rewarding thing that there could ever be. Vital Farms, they're motivated for the well-being of the animals, for the well-being of the land, the whole grand scope of things. They care about it all, and that means a lot to me.
To learn more about how Vital Farms farmers care for their hens, visit vitalfarms.com.